Hey, Sally. Yeah, what's up? You ever get kind of tired of sitting around on this tree all month? What do you mean? Well, every year, for years and years and years now, we're pulled out of a box at the end of November and placed on a giant tree in roughly the exact same place. I mean, we never move location for some reason. And we just stay here. We stay here for a month, for all of December, and then it's back in the box again. You ever wonder, what's beyond that? No, not really, Stickers. I mean, this tree is our home. It's where we go. It's where we serve our purpose. And when that time is done, we go back in the box. Yeah, but what if we went beyond? I've heard rumors, Sally, rumblings from the people that live in this house, that there are more cars just like us, just up the stairs. Sometimes, when I'm lucky, I get a glimpse of them. On rare occasions, one of the guys that lives here films stuff with those cars. Down here in this very room, and I get to see some of the other ones. I want to go, Sally. I want to go and leave and find those other cars. Oh, Lightning. Why don't you want to stay here? I mean, come on. All your friends are here. Luigi and Guido, the time machine from Back to the Future, Sparkly Snowman, well, howdy there. The bride from the Haunted Mansion.
Here comes the bride.
I think she's a bit confused about what holiday it is, but still, Lightning, all your friends are here. Why would you ever want to leave? I'm gonna do it, Sally. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna find those other cars and I'm gonna prove to you that there's more to life than just this tree. But how do I do it? How do I do it? How will Lightning McQueen escape the tree? Find out next time on Hey! I'm trying to come up with a plan here! Shut up, narrator Snowman! Oh, sorry, I thought I was helping. Dude, you always start talking at the worst times! Hello everybody, and welcome to day 3 of 25 Days of Suggestions 2025. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Cars 3 veteran racer Brian Spark, suggested by Najay's Amazing Cars and NASCAR Diecast 73. Thank you so much for your suggestion, as always, and if you'd like to leave a suggestion down in the comments for 25 Days of Suggestions, feel free to do so. Just make sure you watch my video going over the rules for this year's suggestions first. Suggestions will remain open for a couple more days. Typically, I close them around the 5th or 6th, so if you haven't yet, make sure you do so if it's something you're interested in doing. And make sure to stick to the end of this episode to see the random name picker get fired up and choose tomorrow's review. Now, Brian Spark is a really cool Cars 3 veteran racer, the follow-up to Claude Scruggs, one of the most iconic Piston Cup racers, and genuinely one of the most iconic Cars background characters in general. Very iconic character there, and Brian Spark, while not as iconic, is still a pretty great character. Look, I'm sorry, I just said the word iconic like 5 times. I got a comment a few months ago on Uptown Funk claiming that I overused the word iconic, and I've been really self-conscious about it. So luckily for us, I've pulled up thesaurus.com and we're going to try this again. Okay. Brian Spark is a follow-up to Claude Scruggs, one of the most archetypal, epochal, exemplary, paradigmatic, quintessential, recognizable, classical, historic, ideal, important, prototypical, representative, seminal, supreme, traditional Cars Piston Cup background characters. And Brian Spark is pretty cool too. I feel like Brian Spark often doesn't get the respect he deserves, and I feel like he's just kind of in an awkward place when it comes to the diecast line, considering his first release was exclusive to a launcher back in early 2018. That's how I got him. The launcher is off in a bin somewhere, I think in my closet. Brian was finally re-released a few years later, his first and I believe only ever single release in 2021, and after that, well, we basically went radio silent on Cars 3 veteran racers, and only Speedy Comet has escaped to see the light of day so far. Hopefully, Brian comes back soon. I think he's an item that really does deserve another single release, multi-pack release, 2-pack release. I'll take anything. I think he's a car that more people definitely should be able to get because he has a really cool design. Easily one of my favorite things about this racer is the oil slick here on the front. Leakless, of course, sells adult drip pans, which is just pretty funny in concept. And, of course, we have a very similar logo to the one that Claude Scruggs used. Compared to a lot of the other logos, Leakless's isn't really all that different. It is actually almost exactly identical. They just added a bit more sort of a 3D look to the text, but you could see even the specific little drips of oil by the word leak are the exact same. Easily my favorite design change they did here was giving him this oil slick on the front. It's this sort of dark brown oil color, you know, not fully black, which I think is good because oil, while typically kind of in animation depicted as being fully black, is more of a very, very, very dark brown. And so I do think that is a good choice there. There are also very few piston cup racers with brown on them in any capacity, so I do think that looks pretty good. It also has some sort of shimmering, you know, it's done with the sort of look to make it look as if it's a bit more three-dimensional, which is very nice. Number 52 down there, he's got this nice closed-mouth grin, which I believe is exclusive to this item. When he was re-released in 2021, his Made in Thailand release, they actually just swapped out his mouth for Brickyardly's mouth. This is, of course, a car of the Brickyardly mold. Talked about that in a pretty recent Errors and Inconsistencies episode. On the side, we have a little stylized drip pan itself, very similar to what we see on Claude, but whereas Claude's wrapped all the way around the back, this one is much smaller and more easily recognizable as a drip pan. And instead of wrapping all the way around, we have a small one on this side and a far larger one on this side. You guys know I love asymmetrical racer designs. Always love when the two sides have different designs. We've got the little Lightyear logo there. I honestly don't know why mine has so many chips, probably because he came in a launcher, but I don't remember using the launcher all that much. I wonder what happened to him. I don't know. I really like the coloring on his wheels here. We've got all the secondary sponsors you would expect to see. Piston Cup, Vitaline, Revolting, RPM, Nitroid, Octane Gain, and Clutch Aid, as well as the little sort of indication of where the car should be picked up. On most other racers, that is depicted as an arrow, but not on Brian. On Brian, it's just a little red stripe. We also have a few more oil stain specks coming off of the oil splotch here. We've got another Leakless logo here on the back by his gas cap, and just some sort of yellow stains as well, which is a bit disturbing. I don't want to know what that is, but it is kind of a precursor to George Newman, who uses a more sort of yellow stain design, right? With George Newman, they kind of dropped this oil-colored oil slick concept and went for more of a more kind of stylized approach that's a bit closer to the color of the car. On the back, we got the Leakless logo, adult drip pans, once again, some very unique backlights, as well as his camera. Nice to see that was included on him. Leakless writing back there with some more oil. There is a look at the other side. Once again, there is a look at the base. And there you have it, guys. Brian Spark, one of my personal favorite Cars 3 veteran racers, and a very unique looking one. Definitely a great follow-up in the... Oh no, I'm out of adjectives! Wait a second. Word of the day is Curio? Like Lizzie's Curio Shop? From Cars? That's crazy. Anyway, I really like Brian Spark here, and a great follow-up to Claude Scruggs. I also really love that exclusive expression. But before we go, it is time to once again run our random name picker and see who we'll be reviewing tomorrow. Since yesterday, I have added the 2 new requests I got in the comments of the last episode. I've also removed Brian's name from the list before filming, so he can't be accidentally picked again. And now it's time to run it. Let's see who tomorrow's review will be. Impound McQueen. All right. Okay. Very cool car, and honestly a very popular one. I think I've reviewed him a couple times in the past, but I'm pretty excited about that one. Maybe afterwards we can see if they can guess my age. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Another day, 25 days of suggestions. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Bye now.